Let's shift focus to the war in Ukraine now, where just a day after pulling its troops out of Snake Island in the Black Sea, Russia has attacked
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us, but shoppers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the session. This time we have a very nice video opening for us, and I hope you're all ready and geared up. Joining with me today from the UMO team, we have Bapu Karadar, who's the chairman from New York, and Shyam and Ranjit, who are the co-chairs at UMO.Design, both joining in from California. So we're going to be talking and sharing some key aspects of this entire DesignX Social, starting with what it is, talking about some details, and maybe taking you through the presentation as we go towards the end. So Bapu, floor is yours.
Hi, good evening and good morning and good afternoon. Welcome back. Some of you have recently registered to this contest, and most of you, I think, you already registered and you have some questions to ask. So welcome back and welcome to the new participants. So I think you've already seen that we have, this is I think 10th annual DesignX Social Contest, right? 10th year. It's a good number to celebrate. So I'm quickly take you through what we are and then what we want to do. And then, so can you guys keep it in mute, please? Yeah. So then I'll ask Rohan to take you through the website to understand a little more about what the contest is. And then we have Shyam to talk about how to use the template. And then we close the session with the questions and answers. So we try to keep this session for 45 minutes. If not, maybe 5 to 10 minutes more, we can do that. Okay, so let's talk about what is actually right now where we are. So I think you see that there are countries and flags. There are 28 countries. Participation is from 28 countries. That's a great thing to celebrate, and also 1500 plus. We just kept plus because we keep getting requests to participate in registration. Okay, and we also have 250 mentors this year agreed to work with us for this contest. As you guys know that this contest is not just for only winning an award. It's also learning, a lot of learning from the industry, MNCs, industry experts who actually is willing to take out their time for 2 to 3 weeks to help you with problem identification and solution. And similarly, we have jury members. I think you will be understanding how the jury is going to happen from Rohan, and 9 awards to share. So about UMO, we've been almost like 20 plus years, and it's a global organization spread across different countries. And I'm right now talking from New York, and some of the core team members from California and UK, Australia, and different countries, and also from India. You see that, almost like 400 plus mentors signed up with us to help with the different initiatives we take. And it's a huge design community, and we organize the biggest conference in India. It is called UXINDIA, and also now it's transformed as a global conference as UXI. And we have good partnerships with companies and institutes, which actually is helping us to connect with appropriate, connections with the companies and also education institutes. Okay, so let's see, what is our mission? So by 2030, we means not me or a couple of team members, as a community. As a community, we want almost like 1 million individuals to design literate by 2030. And we're hoping that, they will be successful, not just, when we say design literacy and design skills, we want them to get a job. So that is what our responsibility, that's what our huge mission to achieve. So what we are doing, maybe some of you are already aware of this organization, but many of you are not. So for the purpose of that, I'll quickly take you through those initiatives. Actually, there are 6 buckets. You see: experience, explore, expertise, execute, excel, and express. So express is a container where you see that volunteer, mentor, ambassador, speaker, and jury. So there are opportunities for, even as a participant, you can join as a volunteer and you can help the vision to be achieved. And you can also be a mentor, you have a sufficient experience. We do, a review to become a mentor. And if you are from an engineering college or a design school, you can be an ambassador of UMO ambassador to promote, the services, and also you can help your community to grow in your college. And as speaker, you have great opportunities, and you see that experience has got 2 conferences we do annually. UXINDIA, as I said, now it became UXI International Conference. It's a global conference now. It's a 18th year we're going to celebrate this year. And Women in Design, every year we dedicate March and April months to celebrate women leaders sharing their stories. And Design Social comes under explore, as if you get a chance to see the previous year's solutions, they're wonderful. So we also give importance not just only the solution, also the problem identification. Basically, Design Social is to bring that purpose-driven thinking in an individual, also an innovator, as a creator, as a designer. He should have a purpose, a bigger purpose. That is the goal. So we want you guys to solve, or first of all, identify an urgent problem and solve it. So as you know that we have given a theme as designing for crisis. So Shyam is going to explain about it, a little more about the theme in a couple of minutes. And UXIN is something, if you're looking out for a job. So through that initiative, we're going to help you identifying the right company, right profile, the right job for you. And UMO.Design School is something which is actually, we're going to help you with equipped skills required to do a job. And we train you and also help you to be placed in a job. And execute is the bucket we're going to kickstart this year, UMO X Labs, which is going to be your ideas, some of your, as you see that this program is not just to create just for design thinking. So I see that some of you are sharing some design thinking links. Design thinking is one aspect, but we are also helping you to understand how do you pitch your idea, and also how do you promote your ideas. So some of those awards, like most popular award is like, how do you promote your video? Similarly, when you are qualified to the next round, you need to pitch your design solution for 7 minutes. So you're learning a lot as an entrepreneur too. So we would like to take your idea through the next level. If possible, we will also try to find some funding for your idea to be realized. Okay, so let's move on to where we are in the journey. So participant onboarding, this is the third call we are doing for participants. And this is going to be the last Zoom call for you to understand about the problem identification. The next calls are going to be solution submission and also how the shortlisting happens. And also we would like to invite some of the eminent speakers. Maybe the weekends, you can actually keep an hour, block your weekends on Saturdays. So we will also update you with what is required for the next stage. At the same time, we can actually allow you to understand from the experts. They can actually share their thoughts and stories. Okay, now we are at problem identification phase. That means if you have registered last week itself, so today is the deadline to submit your problem identification. What do you mean by that? So you are given a slide deck. There are 4th, 5th, and 6th slides talks about what is a problem identified, what is the persona you are targeting, and what is the process you are following. So you'll be sharing that link with us. In case if your line of thought is not correct, we will come back to you and correct it. If it is good, if you don't hear anything in 2 days, please go ahead and continue your solution. So the question comes, some of you registered recently, some of you even registered today. So if that is the case, what is the next thing? So as you see now, we have 2 more weeks to go. So maybe by 29th, at least if you are able to submit your design, so then not design for the problem identification. So you still have 1 week for your solution. So the 6th of August, remember 6th of August, we will not be postponing that solution submission phase. If we do anything, disturb it, an entire process will go for a toss. So that is strictly you have to finalize final solution you have to submit. Okay, and the most important thing in this contest is participation. So don't think that everybody has to win it. Participation and learning are the most important things, and learning from others. And this is always, we keep it as intentionally, we keep it as a group submissions, group work, group assignment, so that you learn co-creation and learning from mentors. If you are really looking for a mentor, you must have asked us and we would have assigned a mentor. And some teams didn't ask, they can handle it on their own. That is okay, we can do that. Okay. Theme we discussed, and it's completely remote, and it's going to be 3 weeks, but some of you registered, still registering, but we close the registrations today. So there are no more registrations. That's the reason we kept this session. Now you have to seriously work on the project. Okay, and if you really need a mentor, you'll get a mentor, and you are working with the team. And how do you tell that? We'll also help you sharing UMO.Design/explore. You can see the last year, entries. How do you tell a story? That is also important. It's not just only working on, presentation deck, but make sure that it is interesting for a jury to understand. And once you, your first phase of, there are 2 phases, jury phases. First phase is like shortlisting the best solutions and best ideas. And then we'll actually ask you to come for pitching with the live pitching online. So then we will have a design ceremony. Okay, so one important thing you need to, in case if you have opted for a mentor, so you don't expect mentor to solve everything for you. Mentors are people who actually can guide you to understand how, to think about it, and are you doing the right thing or not. And we also have a mentor session, and after this actually we have a 3rd mentor session also there. So we also guide them how to work with you. So it is very well coordinated effort. And of course, you need to respect their time and effort, because they're all working professionals. They also have their own deadlines. So you guys, we introduce you both, and you guys have to take care of how to work with them or her and decide on timelines. Okay. So there is always a pressure that is intentionally designed, and you know that, right? Last 10 years, wonderful ideas we've seen. Never should actually give up. That's what you have to work with. And we also ask our mentors to motivate you in case if your motivation levels are going down. You know, as I said, participation is most important. So you learn a lot within that 2 to 3 weeks. You will get an idea about like students learning in 1 year of education. That is the best part of this contest. And there are tools. It actually will enable you to co-create like Figma, InVision. You make a note of that in case if you guys are not aware of those tools. Please, you can actually create free accounts, and then you have, at least for this assignment, will be useful. And we asked mentors to spend at least 2 hours a week, but you can negotiate with them and request them. And then sometimes mentors may not show up, but you make sure that if you agree to come, you should be there. But mentors, they are like, as I said, they are working professionals and they need to respect them. We can always ask them, hey, we couldn't meet, can we reschedule the call? But mentors also report to us that these guys are not showing up. Please don't do that. Okay, because you are working on the project. Mentors are only guiding you. Okay, so we also have set up a course for you. So if you haven't received, we will be sharing it in the chat also. And we also have a coupon code DXS 2022, which actually enables you to get 100% discount, and then you actually can get access to the course. When I say course, it is a basic material, and mentors actually will be helping you. It's a live class, basically. Mentor is telling you, and this course actually gives a guideline about how to think, how to do the things, like a step-by-step process. So don't expect videos to be there, but all those videos recorded, whatever that we are right now doing, these videos are already available. And why you should be part of that course is a lot of communication happens through that. And we also actually kept the template you're supposed to use, a presentation template also available. And it's not just only the team lead. I would recommend all of you team members to get access to the course, because we will be communicating through that material. We'll be adding a lot of resources, and also we'll also give you some goodies like a previous year conference recordings and replays. So much you get actually. So in case if you're not aware of that, you can send an email to team@UMO.Design. Our team is going to give you the access. Okay, and you will also be sharing, we'll also send you a feedback link to share about how your mentor worked with you, because we're going to award a best mentor award. We're going to give them. And most of our mentors are very tight, always very difficult for us to identify. But some mentors actually, more than working with you like a solution, we don't appreciate that, but they are really good teaching you and also mentoring you beyond the DesignX Social Conference. So definitely would like to appreciate them, their time. Okay, so if not, mentors are not assigned. I see at least 18 teams that I heard that still they don't have mentors. By tomorrow, I actually set up a kind of a deadline for that. You will be receiving emails, and in case if anybody is waiting, don't worry, we are aware of that. So we will send you the mentors. So what are the other goodies you receive? Okay, we actually have internships with our partners. Happening Design Studio is willing to provide you internships for the participants, and winners definitely get a chance to do a internship at Happening Design Studio, and you can also send your profiles, and of course Happening Design Studio will reach out for your profiles to evaluate and then provide you opportunities. And all the winners get actually design course for free. It is actually run for 3 months, and then shortlisted entries who are runners up, they actually get a lot of discounted courses from the UMO.Design school. So if you do a course, you will actually be placed. It's a job guarantee design course. And through UXIN, all the participants actually get a chance to understand opportunities at different partner companies. So that actually helps you to relocate, or if you are not employed, you also get a job. And for a conference, UXA conference 2022, we are going to announce maybe on Monday. So you will be getting, we are thinking about a hybrid. So for all the participants, mostly you might say that you get 100% remote access, but for in-person, so you'll be getting highly discounted price to attend the conference. You know that it is the India's biggest conference on user experience design, right? So with this, I would like to invite Rohan to take you through the web page and make you understand any questions you have. Then we'll actually take you through that. And Shyam is going to show you the presentation template, and you can actually keep asking questions. And I see that some of the chat people are already posing questions. You can keep asking, and Rohan is going to pick it up, and then at the end we're going to ask you, we're going to answer you all the questions. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bapu. I'll try to go through what are some of the key aspects of this DesignX Social Global Innovation Challenge. I'm sure all of you have gone through this website, but just so that you haven't missed any key points, I'll maybe take the next 5 minutes and take you through all of this. So firstly, as you can see, the registrations are officially closed. So the competition is in full swing, and we have a lot of tempo with the things that are going on in terms of people interacting with their mentors, a lot of questions, a lot of interactions, and so on. So I think we're 1 week in already, and I think it's going really well. We already feel the potential, and the pulse of the competition is going to be great. So let's keep this going, and we'll kind of be there in a great position soon. The key aspect of this entire Global Innovation Challenge is about the theme, which is designing for crisis. And I think Bapu has spoken a lot about it in his presentation. So it's important to understand different aspects of what constitutes a crisis, and how we can actually take a social, impactful sort of an approach towards solving any problem that will potentially resolve the crisis. In terms of how you can ideate or think, these are just to kind of provoke or give you some ideas or get some basic sort of a direction going. So we've kind of believed that the social impact can be on 3 levels. One is at a personal level, where you encourage people to maybe look at their own lives and come up with some solutions that can influence their behavior positively, and that will eventually create some great impact for the problem that you are solving. Similarly, at a national level, you can look at how countries are actually being resilient. How are they, so far, how have they been communicating with their people, how they have been trying to bring the entire crisis under control. And it can be at multiple levels, be it policy or be it anything basically at a national level. And the third thing is at a global level, where you can look at sustainable and affordable and robust solutions that can be applicable at a global scale. You don't necessarily have to think of your solution being in lines of all the 3, but this is something that you can look at. In terms of categories, so this category is primarily to help you get a fair shot at your solution or your proposal being public and receiving the right amount of recognition. So first category is design school. So we have all the people from design schools in one category. We have other institutes, which is people from engineering or people from any other sort of educational background, even people from high schools or uh, any any other background basically fall under this category. The third thing is for business enterprises, and the last thing is professionals and citizens, which is essentially if you have any idea that you want to kind of go through this competition, work with a mentor, and get your idea into some sort of a structured manner. I think this is a great place to be and a great journey to kind of take part in. And in terms of rewards and recognitions, we have 4 best design awards for each category. That is 1 per category, and you have 4 special jury awards and 1 award for all category, which is the People Choice Award, which is going to be based on the number of views your video or your final submission, unique views that your video or final submission gets, and that person or that team will be awarded with the People Choice Award. And these are some of the areas in which we will evaluate, the jury will evaluate your solution. The first one is problem identification, which is where we are at today. Today was the deadline for problem identification. The next thing is how innovative and how simple and intuitive, which is user experience. You have the process, which is for the kind of positive impact that is creating, which is essentially the crux of this entire competition. You also have sustainability, which is important. Then you have practicality and business viability, which is the solution that you're coming up with. Is it practical and is it viable for businesses or your target audience to actually execute and become successful? And the final thing is the video, which is not more than 3 minutes. So this video should be something that captures your entire problem and solution in addition to the presentation deck that you will be sharing. So some of the reasons that we are taking part, which we've been stressing on from the start, is it's not just to kind of take part in the competition and win some awards. It's about doing something for the society, doing something impactful, doing something that can actually create a lot of impact and change people's life. And obviously with that, you get a lot of small rewards being a part of the UMO family, which is get a lot of awards, learn with mentors, you get access to a lot of our partners, be it the conference or the school or the partners who are actually providing internship opportunities. And in terms of process, I think we're all very familiar here. 23rd July, this is actually to kind of stress upon a little bit here. This is actually a soft sort of a deadline that we've imposed. Obviously, there are teams who just joined, so you would have time until 6th August, which is your ultimate deadline to submit your solution, which has all these things that are highlighted here, the video and the deck and so on. So if you've not submitted today, we would highly encourage you to do it as soon as possible, so that we are able to review and help you in case the problem that you are identifying is not matching the theme or is not in the right direction. But again, if you've not heard back from us after you submit within the next 48 hours, please go ahead with whatever you have to go on to your next step. And after 6th, you have 21st August, which is essentially your shortlisting. Here is when out of 1,500, 2,000 people, whatever the number of people that have joined, there's only going to be a certain set of shortlisted teams, and you'll again have a week's time to kind of make your deck or your video even better and pitch it to the jury, and then you will have a very fun award session on 28th. That's about it. Any more information is available on the website for you to check out and take a look at. And I would kind of hand it over to Shyam now to take you through the deck.
Hey, Rohan, thank you for that. Folks, can you please mute yourself if you're not talking? Can you please mute? Hello. Rohan
Sham,
is there
I'll
any way
try
you could?
to.
We can just
I'm
mute.
doing
Yeah.
that. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm audible as well as you can see my screen. Let me. All right. So yeah, now that we all understood about the background, and then after that nice walkthrough that Rohan did of the web page, now we are going to look at the template that we would like all of us to follow and then use. So this template has been successfully used by teams in the prior years as well. So what it basically does is it is designed to help you go through this journey smoothly and ensure that you're going to meet all aspects of the evaluation criteria. And then it's kind of a workbook wherein you're going to capture everything that you're doing through all the phases. And by the end of it, you would have completed the project end to end. Right? That's the way it's been designed. And just to highlight very basic instructions, I mean, a lot of you might already be familiar with Google accounts and all that stuff, how to work with Google Docs and all those. So the only advice there is to make a copy of this deck and then start to use it as your own. That's one thing. And then in case if you are not a Google user or if you don't have any account, you can just download a Microsoft PowerPoint version of it and then start to use it. Right, so that's the very basic premise of this. But then to start with, so just to give a walkthrough of this deck, you will always have a cover page for it, and then feel free to use an image that is indicative of the problem that you've identified, right? Problem and the crisis that you've identified, and then crisis, and even within that, you can also get to the level of what scenarios, what situation, and then what exactly is the image that could portray the context that you're trying to play with here, right? So you do this, and once you do that, the next slide is all about your team. In here, you'll be capturing all your teammates, as well as in case if you're working with a mentor at the bottom, also add the mentor's name, profile photos, and everything included in here, so that it will make it for a nice deck. And then when a jury is going to look at it, they will understand the team and the category you have submitted, and then the mix of your team members, right? So, and then phase one, right? So phase one, I think we have spoken enough about it. So it's all about identifying the problem more than the solution. I think we all take great pleasure and great pride in solving the complex problems, and then solving the complex problems, it all starts with the problem identification. So hence we have given a lot of focus and a lot of emphasis on this. And folks who have recently joined, again, even though you have very limited time, you are still encouraged to focus on the problem to start with, and solutions will follow, right? So just to click a little bit into this to help you understand. So on this slide, if you are going to capture the problem, so for instance, your examples of crisis could be the current ongoing situations like the Ukraine war, Sri Lankan war are some of the examples that we started with. But you could also be someone who is completely agnostic of these things, which is not to be expected though. But then at the end of it, as designers, first thing is we would like to feel the problem or the situation ourselves, right? So if you think you're not completely deep into these currently ongoing global crises, but you have something else on hand, as in you might be experiencing some natural disasters around you, right? So you might be somewhere in a location where you are seeing lots of floods. So there are lots of rains in India going on. If we talk about California, where I'm talking from, we always have this fires going on, heat wave, and all those things, right? So if you think that is a problem you would like to focus on, feel free to do that too. But largely speaking, I think in case if you have got enough stories or enough scenarios to address, you could as well pick up Ukraine wars, Sri Lankan crisis, global financial crisis, or any of these things. Right? But those are the examples. And then once you do that, the next step is we are going to get specific focus on a specific problem within that larger scenario. Identify the target groups. Again, here, as Rohan mentioned, you could identify this problem and your target at any level, at a personal level, at a national level, as in at a national or society level, or even at the global level, right? So as you start thinking on those lines, you would automatically start to think about the problem, not just the problem, but also the impact of the solution that you're going to come up with, right? So you narrow down and then you capture that thing. Again, it's not going to be that simple and easy. So you might be doing some brainstorming over there to, hey, by the way, what exactly is the scenario that I would like to tackle, right? So given the war situation is going on, there are lots of families that are getting affected. There is a single family that is taking the situation in their own hands, or a family with a group of families are working together to help their governments. And even at the national level, there are lots of countries who are seeing this situation unfold, and then they're trying to help in various ways, right? So you could position it at any level. So again, it just boils down to two categories. Again, as I mentioned, these categories are not to be confused with the categories of submission, but these are where you can start to think and organize your entire project on these lines, right? So personal level is, again, you will see that we are encouraging you to reimagine the life operating system, because this kind of crises, either they affect at a smaller scale, they could also affect a large scale, they could affect an individual, they could affect families, right? So they are in a way affecting each and every vertical that is important to your life. Like it could be healthcare, it could be finance, it could be education, your own personal security, emotional security, trauma, mental stability. So for instance, when we tackled the problem of COVID last year, it was all about mental issues. We in fact had so many entries around that, and then there were lots of interesting entries as well. So we highly encourage you to go and take a look at those videos as well. How did they come about with the storytelling aspect of it, and then what kind of issues they have identified, and then how did they go about solving it, right? So hence, because it deals with at a personal level, it deals with all these key aspects of an individual's life, who can potentially, if you're someone who is driven, like we have seen a lot of examples in case of Ukraine. A lot of Ukrainians have been so resilient that they have taken the situation in their hands. They are making sure that they are not a burden to their government, but in turn they are trying to help the government, right, by taking care of their own needs in this kind of situation. So hence, it is like, can we help? How can we help these individuals rethink their life operating system? You can just focus on healthcare. Healthcare is in itself is it's such an important and critical piece of your life operating system, right? So your solutions could be focused on that, or finances situation, or education aspects, or security and housing, right? So how can we make these systems robust and sustainable? How can we help these people overcome post-crisis trauma? So all these things come into play. And on the other hand, as designers, can we help these governments being more proactive? Can we make these governments think citizen-centric, citizen-inclusive, so that they understand the needs of things, and then of the people, and then completely flip it around, right? So by focusing on the people. So that's what we are going to do as a part of this. So again, all the content that I've just explained here are just feelers for you, so that trigger some thought process, trigger ideas at various levels, and you can explore your own problems, and then come up with your own problem definition within this. So that's what you're going to capture on this slide, right? And then as you think about it, you will naturally come about thinking about, why is it an urgent problem for me? Why is it an urgent problem for the people that I'm going to focus on? Why is it an urgent problem for the target persona? We captured that thing here on this slide. And then, as we all know, without the persona that we're going to focus on, you can't even think of a story. You can't even think of a narrative, scenario. Problem itself doesn't occur to start with. And then if there is no problem, if there is no person, there is no problem. And then if there is no problem, then you're not solving anything, right? So capture your target personas here. It could be one individual, or it could be 2 or 3 people who are part of that play, part of the scenario. So for instance, when you talk about a disaster like an earthquake or something like that, right? Because earthquakes happen a lot here in California. And then we talk about not just a family that is affected by earthquake, we also go to the extent of identifying that family's pets, right? So in such a scenario, you as a family could have been scattered around because a disruption could cause a separation at various levels. So an individual, a human being, his pet, and the firefighting folks, all these people are involved in this. So capture all the scenarios which help you communicate this the whole context, and then you might want to focus your problem on one or two, but at the end of it, it is invariable that you can't just isolate it to one thing, right? So the storytelling should happen across all this, right? So yeah, so feel free to add more slides to it. It could be one person, it could be two personas, based on what exactly the problem is that you have identified. And once that is done, you would have completed your problem identification stage. Right? So Rohan spoke about the dates that we need to adhere to. Again, as I mentioned, these dates are slightly softish. A lot of people are still joining, and then try to spend as much time as you can and balance your time from now until the end of the submission, so that you give enough emphasis to problem identification as well as you keep enough time for you to solve the problem. So that's stage one, and after that, everything is pretty straightforward as we do. So, I mean, if you are a design team, you know the process from here, or if you are a non-design team, you will have mentors assigned to you, and then with their guidance, you will be able to follow the process, right? So once you have a problem, this slide is going to capture all the explorations around solutions and ideas that you would brainstorm, and then you focus on the final solution. And in here, you need to think about how does your solution address the problem, and right, how is it innovative? That's that. And then on this slide, you're going to capture the actual user experience of the problem, of the design solution that you come up with. You could use the screenshots, how many screenshots that are required for you to capture the essence of your solution, and then also create a video on that, right? So, and then it goes without saying, we are also interested in understanding the process that you went through, because again, as I mentioned, all these slides are designed in a way that you do meet the criteria, evaluation criteria at the end of it. And then impact on the society, right? Ideally, all these questions, all these ideas would get captured in the initial phase when you start to think about your problem and sustainability. So, how is your solution that you have come up with is sustainable? And try to take some time to think about at the global scale, global level, how can this solution that I have come up with is scalable, it's sustainable, it's good for the planet, and all those ideas can fall into this bucket. And finally, practicality and business viability, because as Babu mentioned in the beginning, we don't want just to see smoking guns here. We want to see ideas that are implementable, that can be used by the global population here, wider audience, your target audience in this case, and then there should be a good amount of thinking that should go into it about how can this be successfully implemented. So once that is done, your deck is complete. So this is how this workbook is going to guide you through each and every step in the process and ensure that you do meet all the key criteria of the evaluation. Once this is done, you're done with this thing, and then you are ready to submit. So once you're ready to submit, you are going to click on a link here, which is to be published soon. And we already shared this deck with a lot of people out there. And in case if there is anyone who still hasn't received this, you should be able to get it. And after that, as I mentioned, make a copy of it and then start to use it. That's all I had. And in case if you have any questions, we are open to take questions. Rohan, over to you.
Yep. Thanks, Shyam. I think we have quite a few questions already coming in. So we'll probably take a few minutes to answer them. Starting with the first question, I know some of them have already been answered thanks to Babu, but I'll just try to go over them quickly for the sake of everybody. we have followed up with our mentor, but they have not responded. Okay, so guys, it goes both ways, right? Like we've been talking to you about your you being respecting your mentor's time, so it's also the other way around. If your mentor is not showing up, then they will be they are not a mentor anymore with UMO, and we'll make sure that they don't have the opportunity to join us for any of our future programs. At the same time, please email us and we will try to assign you a different mentor as soon as possible. Okay. We have another question, which is you have decided to meet with your mentor on 27 July. We couldn't. Okay. Yeah, see, so let me just put it this way. The deadline for today, which is your problem identification, it's a soft deadline. It's more of a check-in to see if you are on the right track and if you're moving in the right direction. So it is not going to anyway give any edge to anybody. The more time you have is just good for you. You get more time to do whatever you need to do. But the 6th August, which is your solution submission phase, that is a hard deadline, and anybody who's not submitting at that point will not get any extensions, or you just have to submit it by 6th August. So that's what it is. And if your mentor is not able to give you time or whatever, the only way is to request them to give them more time or work with them to make sure both of your schedules match. That's the best you can do. Like we said, right, this is a open competition, and the mentors here are just doing this because they want to see the ideas coming from you get into like a really good shape, and you being able to reach the final stage. So we very carefully go through all the mentor submissions and only finalize a few set of people. It's not that anybody and everybody can become a UMO mentor. So we are doing that check. How you work with the mentor to get their time is totally up to you. Can we make changes to the user persona afterwards? I don't know what afterwards means here, but yeah, until you submit it, you definitely can make any changes you want to the deck. I think I answered the next question. Okay, I see all of them about the deadlines. We have one more question about what category would it be for team of? Team is a mix of designers and non-designers. So if you have any designers in your team, we will put you in the designers. We will put you in the professionals category. So if you have a designer, we will consider that you have a slight advantage over people who do not come from a design background. So that's primarily the reason why. If there's no designer and if you're not a student, then you will go into the citizens category. Where do we get a team number? So that's not something we actually go by. It's just a sort of a documentation for us. As you all know, you have named your team. So call yourself with the team name, and you can, whenever you're reaching out to us, you can always mention your team names and the team members who are part of the team. Incorrectly mentioned as 24 July instead of 9:30 a.m. First phase by 24 July, 9:30 p.m. Yeah, like I said, again, guys, the deadline today is a soft deadline. So it's good that if you submit your problem, we can definitely validate it for you and tell you whether you're in the right direction. But if you're not doing it, then we would highly encourage you to do it as quickly as possible and move on to the next stage. But that's the kind of a process. So there's no fair or unfair advantage here, Babu. It's all about just going through the process and identifying your problem first before going to the next stage. Where can you find the presentation template? I think the link to the design thinking course is there. You will find not only the presentation, but all the recordings of the sessions that we've been doing and other important material that will help you do well in this competition. And I think the link is there and with the code. So if just go ahead and do it right now, or just check your inboxes. You should have already received an email from us with the link and with the code. Yeah, if you already submitted your problem statement, wonderful. You guys are already on a great path towards succeeding in this competition. We will get back to you by Tuesday end of day with any comments from us. If you don't hear anything from us by Tuesday, please go ahead and continue with your next steps. Do not wait for anything or anyone. This is only a simple check to ensure things are going right and things are going in the right direction. What about mentorship? We have not added his name in a presentation because there's no response yet. If they're not responding, then there's no need to credit them in your presentation. The mentor you provided is not responding. We are not providing anybody any mentors. We are simply assigning mentors. How you work with them, we are completely leaving it between you and your mentor. In case your mentor is not responsive at all, please let us know and we will try to assign another mentor to you as soon as possible. I think we've answered all the other questions. I'm trying to scroll down. Sadik, I'm ready to mentor one more team, currently with Team 98. Awesome. Just let us know. That'll be of a great help to us, because we have about so many teams that have not opted for mentors but are now requesting for mentors. So there is a need for more mentors. So please email us and we will immediately assign another team to you. How exactly would potential internships work? Anuya, that's a good question. So the team from UMO will be sharing a form or something, some sort of a communication with you towards the end of the competition to collect your profile and other important points. And that will be shared with all our partners for internships. And these would be internships for 3 to 6 months, and it would be paid internships based on how well you do in your interview and etc. But a major part of why the partners would want to offer that internship is based on how well you do in this competition. So we will be, UMO will be sharing all the interested candidates to the companies, but the possibility of scoring an internship would be higher for people who would get shortlisted or win the competition. And Nissan, so like I understand doing this activity, one can get internship or job for winning for the winning design, but as a design professional already, how much this exercise will value him? Tough to decode your question there, but yeah, definitely if you're talking about getting an internship, this competition, winning this competition or being a part of it or getting shortlisted will definitely create an impact on your process of getting into an internship.
Yeah, one more thing actually, I think his son's point. So we actually get a footprint of 3 million people worldwide actually access our design solutions. Actually, we have, a YouTube channel wherein we actually highly encourage you to propagate your design solution, and whoever has got more number of hours viewed, they will actually get the award for People Choice Award. So in the process, generally we get 3 million views. People actually get to see our work, all of our submissions. That's the one great thing that, your work will be appreciated. And to your question, yes, as I said, UMO.Design Labs, if it has got a business viability angle, definitely will actually help you take your idea forward. It could also become a startup. Nissan, will that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think Sita answered my question.
Okay, thank you. So, Rohan, we have 4 minutes. We have another mentor session to be started. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to rush to the questions. I think we're almost at the end.
We already covered. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
So I think the last question, let me answer. How will we get feedback on our work after submitting? As you guys realize that there are 2 phases. Phase 1 is a problem submission. That's what we discussed today. We're supposed to submit today. Or some of you haven't, you have just registered. So we said, okay, till 29th, you can do that. If you don't hear anything from us in a day, you can continue to work on your design. That means you are doing great, because we have 350 teams working right now, right? So if any of the teams are not doing and are not in the right direction, we will come back to you and we'll have one-on-one session, or we'll send an email to you. Okay, if not, you haven't heard anything from us, you're doing right. You please continue to work on the phase 2.
Great. I think that answers it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for being a part of this great competition. We wish you great luck, and we will be talking to you again soon towards the end of the competition. If you need anything, feel free to reach us out at team@UMO.Design, and you will have all the required information pertaining to the competition at the UMO.Design school link, where you will be able to access the course material and any other resources. So please do check that out, and we wish you great luck, and we will talk to you all soon. Goodbye. Thank you, team. Bye-bye.